Hello everyone, welcome back to the tutorials again. So in previous session we have studied about the introduction to pre-stressed concrete, definition of pre-stress, basic concepts of pre-stress, terminologies which we are going to use in case of pre-stress concrete we have studied. So tendons is a first terminology, anchorage is a second terminology, which are very much important. So about the pre-tensioning and post-tensioning introduction we have studied what is pre-tensioning, when this pre-tensioning occurs. So basically we have studied that pre-tensioning occurs or pre-tensioning pre-tensioned concrete is a concrete in which tendons are tensioned before pouring the concrete, that is called as pre-tensioning. And in pre-tensioning, in case of pre-tensioning, the concrete is the stress is introduced by bond between steel and concrete. Post tensioning is pre-stressed pre-stressing concrete by tensioning the tendons against the hardened concrete. Against the hardened concrete we are going to tension the tendons. So in this case pre-stress is imparted to concrete by bearing. So by bearing we are going to introduce the stresses in case of post tensioning, and by bond between steel and concrete the stresses which we are going to induce in case of post tensioning. Okay, remember this. So these 2 points are important. So material used for pre-stressed concrete, we have discussed about the cement, even we have discussed about the concrete. So in case of concrete, air entrained Portland cement is also permitted, or else air entraining permit approved air entraining admixtures are also permitted, but air entrainment should not be less than 4% or more than 6%. So minimum cement content is 300 to 360 kg per meter, and water content shall be as low as possible. Steels are either high tension steel, tendon strands, or cable. So these conforming to respective IS codes we have studied. So high strength steel content. So the steel content in case of this high strength concrete should not be more than these quantities which are given. So for durability and fire resistance, 20 mm cover for pre-tensioned concrete and 30 mm cover for post-tensioned concrete is to be used. In case of post-tensioned concrete, 30 mm or size of cable, whichever is greater, we have to use. So in case of more aggressive environment, these covers are increased by another 10 mm. So this is what we have studied in previous session. Another point which we have studied in previous session is what is the necessity of high grade concrete and what is the necessity of high strength steel. So for in case of concrete is concerned, the stresses are going to transfer in concrete by tendons by using the bond between steel and concrete. So for that purpose, as the grade of concrete is high, the bonding strength will be high. So it is in case of post tensioning, but in case of it is in case of pre-tensioning, but in case of post-tensioning the stresses are going to transfer by using the bearings. Okay, so due to the bearing strength we need due to which we need higher bearing strength. So for that purpose we have to use higher grade of concrete. Generally minimum M30 grade of concrete is used in case of post tensioning, and M40 grade is used in case of pre-tensioning. Okay, next this is about the high strength concrete. If we consider about the high strength steel, then losses in the pre-stress members are very much high, so that we won't be able to use the conventional steel, which are mild steel or cold deformed bars. We have to use the high strength steel, so that after all the losses we have to achieve the desired degree of stressing. Okay, so that's why we have to use the high strength steel. Further history and development, about the history and development we have studied in the previous session, so you can go through it. So in today's session we are going to study about forms of pre-stressing steel. So whatever the pre-stressing steel which we are going to use, what are the different forms of those, we are going to study in today's session. So you can see, first one is wires. So pre-stressing wire is a single unit made up of steel. It is either we are going to use a single wire. Next, strands. 2 or 3 or 7 wires are wound to form a pre-stressing strand. This is very important. So whatever the wires are there, either we are going to use the wire as a single unit, or else we are going to uh, own them in 2, 3 or 7 numbers to form the pre-stressing strand. So you can see over here, pre-stressing, these are the pre-stressing strands. So we are either going to use the single wire, or else we are going to use the strands. So strands means it is the combination of wires, 2, 3 or 7 wound together. So wound together. Next, tendons. A group of strands, this is very important, a group of strands or wires are wound to form a pre-stressing tendon. So these groups are used to form the pre-stressing tendons. So these groups are used to form the pre-stressing tendons. So next you can see over here, uh, cables. A group of tendons form a pre-stressing cable. So group of tendons, so number of tendons are combined together to call as a cable. Bars. A tendon can be made up of single steel bar. The diameter of steel bar is much larger than that of wire. So those are called as bars. So rather than combining all the strands together and make a tendon, the tendon can be made by a single bar and whose diameter is much higher as compared to wire. Okay. Next, nature of concrete steel interaction. So what is the nature of concrete steel interaction in case of pre-stressed concrete we are going to study. So bonded interaction, when there is adequate bond between pre-stressing tendons and concrete, it is called as bonded tendon. So pre-tensioned and grouted post-tensioned tendons are bonded tendons. So pre-tensioned, all the pre-tensioned tendons are bonded tendons, or else all the grouted post-tensioned tendons are the bonded tendons. Okay, so just go through these things further. You can see over here. Okay, so it is about the bonded tendons. So unbonded tendons, when there is a no bond between pre-stressing, when there is a no bond between pre-stressing tendon and concrete, it is called as unbonded tendon. When grout is not applied after post-tensioning, post-tensioning means we are going to induce the tension in the steel after the placing of the concrete and after concrete attains the desired strength. So in that case we are going to apply the stresses, that is called as post tensioning. And after post tensioning, whatever the uh, uh, remaining portion in between, or whatever the gap in between the steel tendons and concrete is there, that if that is not grouted, if that is not grouted, then the tendons is called as unbonded tendons. So there are two types of nature of concrete steel interaction. One is bonded tendon interaction, next one is unbonded tendon interaction. Okay, so bonded tendon interaction is generally in case of post tensioned concrete, but in case of pre-tensioned uh, sorry, in case of pre-tension concrete, generally there is a bonded tendon interaction, but in case of post-tensioned concrete, if it is grouted, then and then only the bonded interaction is going to take place. Next, stages of loading. The analysis of pre-stressed concrete, analysis of pre-stressed member can be different for different stages of loading. So analysis is very much different from for different stages of loading. First one is initial. It is divided into two stages during the tensioning of a steel and at the transfer of pre-stress to concrete. During the tensioning of a steel and at transfer of pre-stress to the concrete. Next one is intermediate. This includes the loads during the transportation of pre-stressed member. Next one is final. It can be subdivided into two stages, at service stage and at ultimate stage, during the operation, during the extreme events. So like this, stages of loading is subdivided as we have seen. Next is very important point, and many of the times in your examination they have asked this question, that is advantages of pre-stressing. The pre-stressing of concrete has several advantages as compared to traditional reinforced concrete. So without pre-stressing, traditional reinforced concrete without pre-stressing, a fully pre-stressed concrete member is usually subjected to compression during the service life. Compression during the service life. This rectifies the several deficiency of concrete. So this point is very important. It is the basics of pre-stressed concrete. A fully pre-stressed concrete member is usually subjected to compression during the service life. This rectifies the various deficiencies. Following text broadly mentions the advantage of pre-stressed concrete with requirement of RC member. For each effect, the benefits are listed. So for each point, they have listed the benefits. Section remains uncracked under service loads. Usually, whenever in case of limit state of design of regular RC structures, the cracking of the structure is permitted with some restriction to crack width, so you can just study the IS 456, which has given some restriction to crack width and it has permitted the cracking. So section remain uncracked under service loads. So as section remains uncracked, reduction of steel corrosion which increase the durability, full section is utilized. As the section is not cracking, full section is utilized for carrying the loads. So higher the moment of inertia, as the if the section cracks, that much section we are not going to consider for we are not going to utilize, we are not going to consider it as a it is utilizing to carry the loads. But as the section does not crack, we are going to consider it as a consider it to carry the loads. Next, due to which higher moment of inertia, less deformation takes place. Increase in shear capacity, as we are utilizing the full section, there is an increase in shear capacity, suitable for use in pressure vessels, liquid retaining structures. So this is very important for liquid retaining structures. Before few years there was only working stress method, but nowadays limit state method is also comes into picture when we consider the liquid retaining structures with some restriction to crack width. So in case of liquid retaining structures, this pre-stressed concrete is very much useful. Improved performance under dynamic and fatigue loading. So high span to depth ratio. Large spans possible with pre-stressing. So large span bridges, buildings with large columns pre-space. Typical value of span to depth ratio in slabs are given below. For non-pre-stressed slab 28:1. For pre-stressed slab it is 45:1. For some spans less depth compared to RC member. So for some span, let us consider that 10-meter span for RC structure and 10-meter span for pre-stressed structure. So whatever the depth of beam required for RC structure is more as compared to pre-stressed structure. So in case of pre-stressed structure, pre-stressed concrete, it depth is less. That is why it reduces the self-weight, more aesthetic appearance due to slender section, more economical section can be achieved. Next, suitable for precast construction. Advantages of precast construction are given below. So pre-stressed concrete is suitable for precast construction. We are going to cast it in the industry, we are going to place it in the field. So that is called as precast construction. So this pre-stressed concrete is suitable in case of precast construction. So advantages of precast construction are rapid construction, better quality as it is done in industry or factory, it is having better quality, reduced maintenance, suitable for repetitive construction, multiple use of formwork. So number of times we can use the formwork in the industry, it reduces the formwork. Availability of standard shapes. Following figure shows the common types of precast sections. So there are various standard shapes are available in case of pre-stressed concrete. Next, the cross section is utilized more efficiently in case of pre-stressed concrete as compared to regular concrete, as the pre-stressed concrete will not uh, consider the cracking condition. Next, pre-stressed concrete allows for large span. Larger spans are allowed as we have discussed previously. Pre-stressed concrete members offer more resistance against the shear force as they are induced with the high strength steel and concrete. Next, considering same depth of concrete member, a pre-stressed concrete member is stiffer than the reinforced concrete member under working loads. Means they are directly saying that pre-stressed concrete members with same size as compared to RCC members are more stiffer, means having higher strength compared to RCC members. The use of high strength concrete and high strength steel results in smaller cross section. So that's what I have said, cross sectional area can be reduced. Next, limitations. There are some limitations for pre-stressed concrete also. Although pre-stressing have advantages, some aspects need to be carefully addressed. That is, first one is pre-stressing needs skilled technology, hence it is not common as reinforced concrete. So you can see this pre-stressing technology is much advanced and it requires high knowledge or high skills of technology, so it cannot be produced anywhere. So wherever there is a proper arrangement, wherever there is a skilled technology, then and then only we can produce the pre-stressed concrete. Okay, and it is not like RCC can be produced anywhere. The use of high strength material is costly, so it is little bit costly compared to regular RCC members. There is an additional cost in auxiliary equipment, so strands, tendons, so stressing equipments. So whatever the additional equipments are there, those are of additional cost. There is a need of quality control and inspection, so there is a top-notch quality control is required and there is a proper inspection is required. So pre-stressed concrete sections are less fire resistant, so fire resist as they use air and trained concrete, they are less fire resistance as compared to normal concrete. So what are the advantages of pre-stressed concrete, what are the disadvantages of pre-stressed concrete, we have studied. So in next session we are going to study about the types of pre-stressing. So based on various sources, based on external internal pre-stressing, this based on pre-tensioning or post-tensioning, based on linear or circular pre-stressing. So based on all these things, what are the types of pre-stressing, we are going to study further in next session. After that we are going to study about the pre-tensioning and post-tensioning in detail we are going to study. So we will stop here for this particular session.